Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we have something kind of, it's not necessarily serious to talk about, but maybe I read an article about it. So this is about Tales of Arise and its DLC practices. I have completed the game, and you know, I kind of want to talk about this a little bit because I mean, you can buy SP boosts, you can buy level boosts. And you can buy, you know, cosmetics for your characters and stuff. You can buy gold boosts, all for real money in this game. So I got to the 5th realm, the boss of the 5th realm, fairly easy. I mean, well, not fairly easy. I mean, it was difficult, you know, for the most part, you know, on the normal difficulty or whatever. But I had such a hard time getting past that point that I ended up, you know, I mean, I'm kind of new to JRPGs. Well, not new. I mean, I haven't played them, you know, really since PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast era. So I mean, I've kind of given up on those and kind of, you know, just barely gotten back into them with Scarlet Nexus and, you know, like the Final Fantasy VII remake and a couple others like Kakarot and One Piece World, Nier Replicant, Nier Automata. So I mean, like I'm starting to branch out, you know, and like really start to play JRPGs again. I was able to get through Scarlet Nexus on the normal difficulty, like no problem. I mean, it took me like 45 hours, whatever. You know, I got through that one. Tales of Arise. The story in Tales of Arise for me was so good that that I wanted to complete that game over the weekend, like I wanted to. So I did. I bought every single level I could get. I didn't buy all the SP though. I did buy every single level I could get, you know, to boost my character up. And it felt like after I boosted my character up, like I never leveled up again. I ended up beating the game at level 59. I think I had I didn't. That might be my fault though, because I did not sit and grind in the early game like one should. You know, the story was just so captivating that I was just more in tune with that. Like I was really in with that. You know, I mean, like the first few bosses, they were tough, but I beat them, you know, the second, third try, whatever, you know. But that Valron guy, dude, oh my freaking gosh! For some reason, I just couldn't wrap my head around getting past that part. So I did. I bought the levels, and then I after you know, finally getting through him, I dropped it down to story mode, and I finished that. So that game for me, it was a question of like getting through the game, you know, quickly so I could get my story and play that game over the weekend, because I work all week and I like to get my story, you know, for my story games pretty quick if I can. I don't feel cheated at all, not one bit, not even a little bit. I think that I still feel like, you know, Tales of Arise is probably going to be my game of the year unless something, you know, better comes out. Well, my JRPG of the year for sure. I don't necessarily want to give it that title, you know, because I've never played any of the older ones, but I really did appreciate and like this game to the point where like buying that stuff like didn't matter to me. But if you are, because I know that the only people that are really going to talk about this stuff are going to be the journalists. But if you're a regular gamer and you buy this game and you've got nothing but time to do, and like you like this game and you want to play it, yeah, you're going to be able to grind that and get everything you need to get all the way up to that point. So after I put it on story mode, I didn't die anymore. Well, I mean, I would die in combat, but I would get revived or whatever. So after that point, like moving forward, like it wasn't that freaking, it wasn't that hard. It was just so much more gameplay after that fact. So it was fine, you know. I mean, it was definitely fine. Like I struggled. I did not finally complete that game until Monday after work when I finally got home and beat the game. So if you're a regular gamer and you're seeing these stories out there about the game being unbalanced and about the game, you know, forcing you to buy DLC, because it is pretty prominent. It is showing a lot, you know, throughout your gameplay, like when you camp or rest or any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're definitely going to be bombarded with the DLC thing. Like, I get that. These companies, these studios are really trying to monetize these games to the fullest extent that they can, so that they can continue to, you know, refocus money towards building us new games. It's either that or free to play, you know. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I've never really been like a microtransaction Nazi, you know. Like, I buy what I want to buy when I want to buy it, and if it makes my experience better, that's great. If it helps me get through the game faster sometimes, that too is all right. Because I buy and I play so many games that that sometimes, you know, I do. I want to get through that story. I want to play the game and I want to get through the story. And there's some games out there that the story is far more valuable to me than the actual gameplay. And I admit that. And if I buy a game when it comes out for $60, $70, whatever, and the only thing that keeps me engaged is the story, that's fine. I got to get my money's worth somehow. I need to play that game. I need to get through that game. Had I been able to, you know, I definitely could have taken my time with Scarlet, or with Tales of Arise, like I did with Scarlet Nexus, and just grind it out. I definitely could have did that, and the reward for that would have probably felt far greater. I am 100% satisfied and happy with my experience with Tales of Arise. Even though I spent, you know, what was it, like an extra $20 on that stuff. I even bought like a costume pack. In my mind, I was so happy with the game. The game was so great that I didn't mind paying for that stuff. I don't necessarily think it felt unbalanced on that. And by the time you get to the 5th area, there's a lot of stuff you could have freaking grinded to get your character up. There's plenty. Like, you would have had no problem grinding to get your character level up. So I don't think, because that's the first part that stopped me dead in my tracks, and I was like, wow, man, this dude is freaking pretty on it, man. And like, after, you know, that part, and then moving forward, it got, you know, I mean, after I switched the difficulty to story mode, it did get a lot easier to just get through that. I mean, and when I get to, you know, I mean, I think JRPG games are kind of always like that. You know, like the last level or the last, you know, area or whatever is always just packed with a lot of different enemies, and you have to fight through like this gauntlet of everything to finally get to the main boss and fight them. And it's just these overpowered hit freaking bullet sponge type bosses that we've all come to know and despise. And at the same time, you know, like, a good part of the story is locked behind that content, so you got to either push through it and get to that, or you just, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I don't know how I feel about them, you know, doing like paid DLC to boost your character, but it's a single player experience. So, like, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you want to pay for that and cheat yourself out of that hard work. Whatever. I mean, it's there. I mean, obviously, I have a channel. I review video games, so getting through these games a little bit faster is kind of beneficial for me, so that I can get a review out sooner. I'm happy with my experience with this, and yes, it could be something that tempts you. But if this is the only game you got for 3 months or 6 months, don't waste your money on buying that. Just grind it out. You know, I mean, set it to story mode and play it if you really got to get through it. I mean, there's really nothing that makes you buy that. But I'll tell you what, you know, story mode, if I was under level 59, probably would have been pretty freaking challenging too, to tell you the truth, because hey, you know, I mean, it is what it is. Like, it is definitely a JRP. It's a challenging game. You still got to learn all the move sets and everything else. I was happy with my experience. I'm still happy with my experience. I'm still glowing with praise over Tales of Arise because I loved this game. I thought it was great, and I would play it. I've actually have started a new game plus, and I am going back through this game because there's a lot of things that I didn't stop and look at that I want to stop and look at now that I've put my review out and stuff. So yeah, like, I'm happy with it. I don't want people to sit and dwell on the DLC stuff. If this is your only game to buy, play it, grind it, have fun with it. There's nothing in there that's making you go out of your way to purchase anything that you don't need to play this game. It's a complete package. I do feel like it is. I don't necessarily feel like it's unbalanced at all, but they do crank the difficulty up after the fifth realm. It does get cranked up pretty good. So yeah, it is in your best interest to grind if you do not want to buy any of that stuff. And that's the name of the game, man. You're buying this game to play it, to enjoy it, to spend time with it. It could possibly be looked at as being pretty padded. Like, it is a padded experience. But the side quests, the story content, everything like that is really good. It's really thought out, and it is worth your time and your effort to continue playing through that. So if you like this content, don't forget to like, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.